It's a good question, and one that has been very hotly debated. And, and uh, a few statistics, or let me say a few facts are very crucial in this discussion, because many of these conversations sometimes miss out on the facts. And so, fact number one is that Africa, Africa and Judaism have been connected. They're like connected at the hip. And so Africa has been a part of the story, the redemptive story. When you look at the Bible, right from the beginning, and into the Old Testament, you're going to find that Africa has a part in there. Some people would say, well, Moses had a Cushite wife, and there were Africans in the story all the way, and Israel was after all in Egypt. And Israel came to Africa when there was famine, and they were housed, and things didn't go the way they were supposed to go, and they left, and their connection has remained. And so there's a connection in the Old Testament, but in the New Testament, you have an African help carry Jesus' cross right at the end. You have in Acts, at the Pentecost, the time of Pentecost, we have Africans represented. Africans had the God praised in their own languages, and you look right through, you find Africans in among some of the first people who are evangelized to Philip, Acts chapter 8. You find the first major center outside of Jerusalem, Antioch. You find, in Antioch, Acts chapter 13, you find of the top 5 leaders in the church, 2 of them are Africans who have a direct connection with Africa, and it goes on and on, and so that's the first thing. Africa is connected to the redemptive story that Christ came to bring, or brought to us right from the scriptures. But it doesn't end there. It continues. Tradition has it that Saint Mark, who wrote the book of Mark, is the one who started the church in Egypt. The Coptic church. You find the Ethiopian eunuch is the one who started the church in Ethiopia, and that story goes on, and we have an unbroken lineage of Christianity in Egypt, in Libya, and Algeria, and so on, in Ethiopia, connecting up to in Egypt, in the case of Egypt and Ethiopia, up to today. And so to the claim that Christianity is an African and came far from a different place. Actually, Christianity has been in Africa for longer than it has been in continental Europe, really. And so in terms of that, I think those facts are important. But there are other facts that are important, and I alluded to it a little earlier, that Christianity has grown on the continent much faster when Africans have received it and become evangelists to each other. And so in 1910, and those missiologists at the time, had this big conference in Edinburgh to talk about, the places that needed evangelism. And Africa was one of those places that, they thought, we should evangelize to China, we should evangelize to some of these other places. But Africa is so far from the gospel. At the time, there were maybe 10 million Christians in the whole continent. Possibly the whole continent was maybe 95% not Christian. And so now you're looking at, from 10 million or less, you're looking at over 600 million Christians. And in some parts of Africa, south of the Sahara, you're looking at places that are 80% Christian, places that are 90% Christian, and so on, in terms of people's confession of their faith. And a lot of that growth really has happened when Africans became leaders of the churches, when Africans preached to one another, and Africans articulated the wonderful truths of Christ, using their own language, using their own metaphor, and using their own proverbs, then their own songs.